5 seconds to go. Start. In order to incentivize the investment by the sovereign wealth fund of foreign governments in the priority sectors, I propose to grant 100% tax exemption to their interest, dividend, and capital gains income in respect of investment made in infrastructure and other notified sectors before 31st March and with a minimum lock-in period of 3 years in order to make available foreign funds at a lower cost. I propose to extend the period of concessional withholding rate of 5% under Section 194 for interest payment to non-residents in respect of monies borrowed and bonds issued up to 30th June. I also propose to extend the period up to 30th June 2023 for lower rate of withholding of 5% under Section 194 for interest payment to foreign portfolio investors and qualified foreign investors in respect of bonds issued by Indian companies and government securities. I further propose to extend the concessional rate of withholding of 5% under Section 194 to the interest payment made on the municipal bonds. In order to incentivize listing of bonds at exchange, I propose to further reduce the withholding rate from 5% to 4% on interest payment on the bonds listed on its exchange. Startups have emerged as engines of growth for our economy. Over the past year, our government has taken several measures to handhold them and support their growth. During their formative years, startups generally use employee stock option plan to attract the retain highly talented employees. Employee stock option plan is a significant component of compensation for these employees. Currently, employee stock option plan are taxable as perquisites at the time of exercise. This leads to cash flow problem for the employees who do not sell the shares immediately and continue to hold the same for the long term. In order to give a boost to the startup ecosystem, I propose to ease the burden of taxation on the employees by deferring the tax payment by 5 years or till they leave the company or when they sell their shares, whichever is earliest. Further, an eligible startup having turnover up to 25 crores is allowed deduction of 10% of its the profits for 3 consecutive assessment years out of 7 years if the total turnover does not exceed 25 crore rupees. In order to extend this benefit to larger startups, I propose to increase the turnover limit from existing 25 crore. Moreover, considering the fact that In the initial years, a startup may not have adequate profit to avail this deduction. I propose to extend the period of eligibility for claim of deduction from the existing 7 years to 10 years. Cooperative societies play an extremely important role in our economy in facilitating access to credit, procurement of inputs, and marketing of products to their members. These cooperatives are currently taxed at a rate of 30% with surcharge and cess as a major concession, and in order to bring parity between the cooperative societies and corporates, I propose to provide an option to cooperative societies to be taxed at 22% plus 10% surcharge and 4% cess with no exemption deductions. Further, I also propose to exempt these cooperative societies from alternative minimum tax just like companies under the new tax regime and exempted from the minimum alternate tax. Currently, business having turnover of more than 1 crore rupees are required to get their books of accounts audited by an accountant. In order to reduce the compliance burden on small retailers, traders, shopkeepers who comprise the MSME sector, I propose to raise by 5 times the turnover threshold for audit from the existing 1 crore. Further, in order to boost less cash economy, I propose that the increased limit shall apply only to those businesses which carry out less than 5% of their business transactions in cash for realization of the goal of housing for all and affordable housing. In the last budget, I had announced an additional deduction of up to 1,50,000 rupees for interest paid on loan taken for purchase of an affordable house. The deduction was allowed on housing loans sanctioned on or before 31st March 2020. In order to ensure that more persons avail this benefit and to further incentivize the affordable housing, I propose to extend the date of loan sanction for availing this additional deduction by 1 more year. Further, in order to boost the supply of affordable houses in the country, a tax holiday is provided on the profits earned by developers of affordable housing project approved by 31st March 2020. In order to promote the affordable housing projects, I propose to extend the date of approval of affordable housing projects for availing this tax holiday by 1 more year. Currently, while taxing income from capital gains, business profits, and other sources in respect of transactions in real estate, if the consideration value is less than circle rate by more than 5%, the difference is counted as income both in the hands of the purchaser and seller. In order to minimize hardship in real estate transaction and provide relief to the sector, I propose to increase the limit of 5% to